Hello, hey, and welcome to Next Door. Our channel today's video is one of the most emotional and heartwarming we've ever done. Today we're diving deep into the most powerful and emotional episode yet, Season 19, Episode 1, where Ty Borden makes his grand return. Yes, you heard that right. After years of heartbreak, longing, and countless unanswered questions, Ty Borden is back. And in today's video, we'll explore how it happens, what it means for Amy and Lindy, how Jack, Lou, Georgie, and Tim react, and how his return changes everything for Heartland and for all of us who never stopped believing in love, hope, and second chances. The episode begins like any other day in Hudson. The sun rises behind the mountains, casting that familiar golden glow across Heartland Ranch. The horses neigh softly. The wind rustles the leaves. Amy is in the barn, brushing one of the horses. Everything feels normal, almost too normal. The camera moves slowly, giving us a sense that something is about to happen. Then we hear a faint sound. Footsteps. Slow, heavy, meaningful. The camera pans down to show a pair of boots walking across the dirt. Not just any boots we recognize. Dusty, worn, familiar. The camera tilts up slowly. Jeans, a jacket, a silhouette standing tall in front of the barn door. And then, his face. Ty Borden. Standing there, alive, real, not a dream. It's the moment we've waited for since Season 14. Our hearts stop. The world stops. And for a moment, the only sound is the wind. We soon learn that what we believed for years wasn't the whole story. After Ty was shot, he was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. The world thought he died of complications. Amy mourned. Lindy grew up without a father. But behind the scenes, a truth more shocking than fiction was unfolding. Ty had been helping uncover an illegal wildlife trafficking ring, and someone powerful, someone dangerous wanted him gone. The government, seeing the threat, made a decision, put Ty Borden into witness protection. They faked his death, moved him across the country, and told him he could never return, not until the people hunting him were behind bars. Ty agreed not because he wanted to disappear, but because he wanted to protect Amy and Lindy more than anything in the world. And now, years later, with the case closed and the threat eliminated, Ty finally makes his way back home, back to Heartland. Amy is tending to the horses when she hears the barn door creak. At first, she doesn't even look up. It's a sound she hears every day. But then, the air changes. She feels something. She turns around slowly and sees him. Her heart skips a beat. Her hands go numb. She whispers, barely audible, her lips trembling, "Ty?" For a second, neither of them moves. It's as if they're frozen in time. Then Ty nods. "It's me, Amy." Her body reacts before her brain can process it. She runs. She throws herself into his arms, crying so hard she can't breathe. He holds her like he never wants to let go. "I thought I lost you," she says. "Every day I wished for a miracle." Ty kisses her forehead and whispers, "I never stopped loving you. I've been trying to come back to you this whole time." It's raw. It's heartbreaking. It's beautiful. It's the moment where Amy's soul finally begins to heal. While Amy and Ty hold each other, a little voice calls out, "Mom?" It's Lindy, holding a book and walking toward the barn. She sees the man standing next to her mother and pauses. There's a moment of hesitation, confusion in her eyes. She tilts her head and asks, "Mom, who is that?" Amy kneels down and gently pulls her daughter close. "Sweetheart," she says with a trembling voice, "this is your dad." This is Ty. Lindy stares up at him, and Ty slowly crouches to her level, his eyes full of tears. "I've missed every moment of your life, but I never stopped loving you," he says. And in that quiet, gentle moment, Lindy walks forward and hugs him. Not because she fully understands what's happening, but because she feels it. She feels his love. She feels his heart. And in that embrace, father and daughter are finally connected not just by blood, but by destiny. Jack had seen loss before. He had buried friends, family, horses. He had lived long enough to understand that sometimes life just takes from you without warning. But nothing hit him like losing Ty. That boy had become more than just a grandson-in-law. He was Jack's protege, the one he taught, the one he guided, and the one he came to love like a son. When Jack was told Ty was gone, something inside him broke. Not outwardly, not in words, but deep down, in a place only Jack knew how to hide. So when Jack hears a commotion in the barn and walks toward it and sees Amy crying it, he assumes that Amy's crying in someone's arms is just another difficult day. But then he sees him. That stance. That amount. Jack's body locks in place when Ty turns around and says, "Hi, Jack?" His hat nearly falls off as he removes it slowly, his weathered hand trembling. For a long moment, Jack says nothing. His lips quiver. Jack Bartlett rarely allows his eyes to water in front of anyone. After that, he carefully and slowly approaches Ty until they are face to face. "You little son of a gun," Jack says, his voice thick with tears. "I knew in my gut you weren't gone. I just couldn't believe it." Jack pulls Ty into the tightest hug imaginable, slapping his back like he did when Ty first came to Heartland. "You were the best damn decision Amy ever made," Jack says. "And now you're back." "I'm glad you're back, God." For Jack, this isn't just about seeing Ty again. It's about restoring the heart of his family, the one piece that made the rest feel whole. Jack finally says what he's been holding back for years as they sit on the porch later that evening drinking coffee together. "You made me proud, Ty. You always did. And I never stopped loving you like my own." Lou had always been the planner, the fixer, the one who kept everything running. When Ty died, she grieved, but she also pushed forward. For Amy. For Lindy. For Heartland. But deep inside, she carried a guilt she never admitted, that maybe she didn't protect her sister enough, or maybe she failed in keeping the family whole. She therefore laughs when Jack calls to inform her that Ty has returned. A nervous, scared, and astonished grin instead of a happy laugh. She doesn't say a word as she drives back to Heartland, her hands on the wheel and her mind racing. And when she pulls up, she sees him standing by the barn, holding Amy's hand, smiling. It's like seeing a ghost. Her legs are weak as she gets out of the car. Ty looks up and sees her. He gently says, "Hey, Lou." Lou's breath catches. Her lips tremble, but no words come out. Finally, she whispers, No, you're supposed to be." And then the tears come. She walks toward him, faster with every step, until she collapses into his arms. "You don't understand what you did to us," she says between sobs. To Amy. To me. We broke, Ty. We broke. Ty holds her even more tightly, and he is crying himself to sleep. He states, "I never wanted to hurt you. I didn't have a choice." Lou pulls back, touching his face, making sure it's really him. "I don't care what happened. You're here now. You are well. That's all that matters." For Lou, this moment is healing. She pours out the burden she carried for years and the pain she buried under work, mayorship, and responsibility. And for once, Lou lets herself feel. Lets herself fall apart. Because now, finally, someone she lost is back, and this time, she doesn't have to pretend to be strong. Georgie had always looked up to Ty. He was the first person who saw her for who she was, not a troubled foster kid, not someone to fix, but someone strong. Someone worth guiding. Both as a writer and as a person, Ty helped her develop. Losing him felt like losing her compass. She left Heartland for a while, chasing dreams. However, a portion of her remained behind, frozen in that final goodbye. So when she hears about Ty's return, Georgie doesn't believe it. "This is a cruel joke," she says at first. "Why would anyone do this?" But when she steps onto the property, and Ty turns to look at her with that familiar smile, her world stops. She drops her backpack, walks slowly toward him. Her face melts as soon as she hears him say Georgie. She cradles herself in his arms and cries again like a young girl. "You don't know how much I needed you," she says. "When you died, I felt like I lost the one person who believed in me." Ty holds her tight, whispering, "I always believed in you. I watched every one of your competitions. I kept up with everything. You're amazing, Georgie." They talk late into the night about horses, about life, about everything in between. And Georgie finally says what she couldn't say back then. "You weren't just family, Ty. You were my brother, and I never stopped missing you." Tim doesn't like to get emotional, but when he loves hard. Additionally, Ty's death was not only Amy's, but also his. Tim had grown to trust Ty, to think of him as the kind of person he wished he had been for his own family, and he blamed himself for not protecting him, for not being there. When Ty died, Tim turned his grief into frustration. Had a way of boiling over at the doctors, at fate, at the cruel twists life had thrown their way, and sometimes even at Amy. Tim wasn't proud of those moments. He hated the feeling of being powerless, of watching people he loved suffer while being unable to fix it. So when he pulled up to Heartland after Lou's urgent call, heart thudding with dread, and saw Ty standing there alive, breathing, real, he froze. His mind couldn't catch up with his eyes. "What the hell is going on?" he finally shouted, voice cracking like a whip across the quiet yard. Ty stepped forward slowly, his hands raised slightly as if to show he was no threat. His eyes were calm but pleading. "It's me, Tim. I'm alive." The words hit like a sledgehammer. Tim's face flushed red not just with anger, but with something far more volatile: shock, heartbreak, betrayal, and a fierce, buried love all colliding in an instant. "You died, Ty," Tim said, voice shaking now. "You left Amy broken. You left all of us in pieces. We mourned you. We buried you." Amy stepped between them, eyes wide, her body trembling like a storm barely held at bay. She opened her mouth to explain, but Ty gently brushed past her, his voice low, sincere. "I wanted to come back every day. I watched videos of Lindy growing up on a screen thousands of miles away. I heard Amy's voice in my head every night, like a lifeline pulling me through the dark. I begged the agency to let me return, to tell you something, anything." Tim's voice cracked under the weight of everything unsaid. "And you didn't think we deserved to know that? That I, of all people, deserved to know?" There was a long silence. You could hear the wind in the grass, the distant rustle of horses in the stable. Then, without warning, Tim stepped forward and pulled Ty into a fierce, almost desperate hug. It was rough, real, and full of years lost. "You're an idiot," he muttered, his voice muffled by emotion. "But I'm glad you're home." As the sun dipped below the horizon, it cast a golden hue over Heartland's familiar fields. The light was soft, the kind that made everything look like a memory. It was the same light that once fell over Amy and Ty in the early days of their love, when futures felt bright and dreams were simple. Now, years later, they sat on the back porch together, side by side yet oceans apart. Amy's coffee cup trembled in her hands. Her eyes were on the horizon, but her entire being was locked onto the man next to her. Ty, her Ty. Alive, flesh and blood. And yet, it still didn't feel real. Ty looked at her not like the confident young man he used to be, but like a survivor. A man stripped of everything, humbled, grateful just to be here. He swallowed hard. "Amy," he said softly, almost afraid the sound of her name might break the fragile peace between them. "I know there's nothing I can say that will take away the pain I've caused. I didn't choose to leave. I didn't die by choice. I was taken. And every day, every damn day, I fought to come back to you." Amy's breath caught. Tears blurred her vision. "Then why didn't you?" she asked, her voice breaking. "Why didn't you come home? Why did you let me think you were dead? Why did you let our daughter grow up thinking she'd never know her father?" Ty looked down, unable to hold her gaze. "They told me I couldn't." Witness protection. International operations. People were watching you, watching Lindy. If I reached out, even once, your lives would be in danger. I didn't believe it at first, but I saw what they were capable of. I thought staying away would protect you, and I hated myself for it. Amy stood, pacing, emotions swirling like a dust storm inside her. You don't know what it was like, she said, her voice rising, cracking under years of pent-up grief, holding your hand as you died, watching the light fade from your eyes, burying you, waking up every morning, hoping it was all a nightmare, and then realizing it was real, raising Lindy alone, watching her grow day by day without you, and trying to fill the space where her father should have been with nothing but stories. Ty stood as well, his hands trembling. I was living a nightmare too, Amy. Every moment I was away from you and Lindy, it tore me apart. I kept a picture of you both in my pocket. I talked to you in my head when things got bad. I whispered birthday wishes to Lindy every year. You never left my heart. Not once. Amy turned to him, her expression a kaleidoscope of love and pain. So what now, Ty? You're back. But everything's different. I don't know how to feel. I'm angry. I'm relieved. I'm scared. He took a small step forward, careful and slow, like approaching a frightened animal. I'm scared too. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect you to pretend nothing's changed. I just want the chance to be here now, to be a father to Lindy, to be whatever you'll let me be in your life. Amy looked at him, really looked. The man before her was older, yes. Weathered, but still Ty. Still the man who once held her heart with both hands and whispered dreams into the night. She drew in a shaky breath. I never stopped loving you, she whispered. Even after you died. I loved you every single day. I raised Lindy on stories of her father, kind, brave, loyal. You're still that man, Ty. But we're not who we were. We've changed. We're older, wiser, a little broken. But maybe we can rebuild? Ty reached out, his hand open, unassuming. When their fingers met, it was like time folded in on itself, like the past and present aligned, just for a moment. We'll take it slow, he said. One step at a time. Like we used to. Just you, me, and Lindy. Amy smiled through her tears. And Heartland, she added. This place brought us together once. Maybe it can heal us too. Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, isn't just a premiere. It's a resurrection. A moment of television that reaches beyond the screen and into the hearts of every fan who dared to hope. Ty Borden's return isn't just a plot twist, it's a testament to love, to sacrifice, and to the power of belief. It reminds us that when love is real, when bonds are forged in truth, not even death can break them. So what about you? How did it make you feel? What moment shattered your heart? What moment made it whole again? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's honor this moment together. And if you were moved by this story, please like, share, and subscribe to Next Door for more emotional journeys, deep story breakdowns, and all things Heartland. Until next time, stay kind, stay hopeful, and always believe in second chances.